Imagine sitting at home when a massive piece of metal falls from the sky and crashes nearby. Sounds like a sci-fi thriller, perhaps. Well, something similar happened with the residents of a village in Kenya. According to Kenya Space Agency, or KSA, on December 30th, fragments of metal, which are believed to be from a rocket, crashed into Mukuku village in Kenya's county at around 3 p.m. local time. The gigantic metallic fragment, roughly 8 feet in diameter and weighing nearly 500 kgs, is now being investigated to determine if this is a case of space debris. Reportedly, the space agency, working alongside the local authorities, secured the area and retrieved the debris for further analysis. As of the last update, there had been no report of any casualties. But how exactly did the debris form and even land on Earth?
So indeed, we can confirm we've located the item. The area locals should not be scared. It is a part of a space object, which is in form of a ring, a metallic ring, possibly from a rocket separation stage. We are to assess the impact to the area, identify whose space object is this, so that we can use the existing legal mechanisms under international law as far as the Outer Space Treaty is concerned.
According to the agency, preliminary assessments indicating that the fallen object is a separation ring from a launch vehicle. Reports suggest the separation ring is a part of a spacecraft, and since rockets typically come in stages, each part drops away when it has fulfilled its role in the launch of the vehicle. But how dangerous is it really? Well, reportedly, as per the KSA, the object poses no immediate threat to safety. But this is not an isolated incident per se. You see, in the last few years, the menace of space debris has started to affect people on Earth. Only last year, NASA was slapped with a lawsuit by an American family when a piece of falling metal pierced their Florida home. Not just that, in February 2024, the European Space Agency stated that a satellite weighing as much as an adult male rhinoceros crashed and re-entered the Earth's atmosphere over the North Pacific Ocean between Alaska and Hawaii. Where does all of this stem from? Only last month, media reports claimed that the accumulation of space debris had raised the real possibility of a collision cascading effect. This is called the Kessler syndrome. What exactly is that syndrome? Apparently, it is a hypothetical scenario proposed by NASA scientist Donald J. Kessler in 1978, which predicts that when the density of objects in low Earth orbit, roughly 100 to 1200 miles above our planet, reaches a certain critical level, it could lead to a chain reaction of collisions, which could render the orbit unfit for human use and halt the space age. But are space events such as space debris going to be the new normal? Scientists reportedly dread that could be the case given the exponential rise in number of objects in the space in the last 4 years. Our top story tonight on Gravitas is about the new Islamist Afghan revenge attacks terrorizing America. We are just 2 days into the new year, and the US has already seen 3 major attacks, killing at least 16 and injuring more than 50 people. In the first attack, a pickup truck rammed into New Year's revelers in New Orleans, reportedly carried out by an ISIS-inspired assailant. Hours later, a Tesla Cybertruck exploded near the Trump Tower in Las Vegas. In the third attack, outside a New York nightclub, NYPD said 3 to 4 males walked towards the nightclub and opened fire over 30 times in the direction of a group standing in line outside the event. At least 15 people were injured in this incident. And nearly 12 hours later, details about the incident still remain scarce. But multiple details, such as the accused in the New Orleans and Las Vegas attacks using a common vehicle renting agency, the ISIS flag being found inside the vehicle in the New Orleans incident, and statements by US President Joe Biden, President-elect Donald Trump, Elon Musk, FBI, they've all raised speculation. The statements have triggered speculation and reportedly fueled growing unease across America, leading to many asking whether these incidents are mere coincidences or part of a larger coordinated effort. An attack by a terror group like the ISIS, because ideology, remember, does not have any frontiers. But before we go any further at this point, let's just talk about how and why the ISIS is being linked to these attacks. In the New Orleans attack, a 42-year-old man identified as Shamsuddin Bahar Jabbar, a U.S. Army veteran from Texas, had an Islamic State flag in his truck as per the FBI.
The subject has been identified as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S.-born citizen from Texas. He was driving a Ford pickup truck, which appears to be rented, and we are working to confirm how the subject came in possession of this vehicle. An ISIS flag was located on the trailer hitch of the vehicle, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential associations and affiliations with terrorist organizations. Weapons and potential improvised explosive devices, IEDs, were located in the subject's vehicle. Other potential IEDs were also located in the French Quarter.
In fact, U.S. President Joe Biden also said that the attacker was inspired by ISIS, stating that the attacker had posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by the Islamic State.
The FBI also reported to me that mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill. The ISIS flag was found in his vehicle, which he rented to conduct this attack.
U.S. law enforcement officials are reportedly trying to determine the suspect's potential associations and affiliations with ISIS. Now, in the second incident, the explosion involving a Tesla Cybertruck outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas has been described as an act of terrorism by Elon Musk on X. Musk further said, and shed light, in fact, on how vehicles from the same renting agency were used for the New Orleans and Las Vegas attacks. The FBI is reportedly exploring whether the Las Vegas explosion was a terror attack. Meanwhile, the NYPD has ruled out that the New York firing incident was a terror attack. But many Americans are reportedly not agreeing to this, stating that after the New Orleans incident, the FBI initially issued a statement saying that it was not a terror attack, only to backtrack a few hours later, with Musk calling out the FBI on this on X as speculation grows about whether all three incidents are interlinked and are part of a larger plot by a terror group. ISIS has so far claimed responsibility for the New Orleans incident, but at its peak from 2014 to 2017, the ISIS spread across over a wide area of Syria and Iraq, primarily based in the Syrian city of Raqqa and the Iraqi city of Mosul, from where it ruled like a centralized government, repeatedly fighting and defeating armies from both the countries while simultaneously executing attacks in dozens of cities around the world. Its then leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, was killed in 2019 by the U.S. Special Forces in northwestern Syria, and that reportedly triggered the group's fall, along with sustained military campaign by the U.S.-led coalitions in Syria and Iraq. And in the aftermath, the ISIS has reportedly switched tactics. Its fighters are scattered in sleeper cells, and its leadership is undercover, while its overall size is hard to quantify. Many of its fighters who fled Iraq and Syria have joined the group's Khorasan branch, also known as ISIS-K in Afghanistan, and is reportedly active along Iran's borders with Afghanistan and Pakistan. Sanaullah Ghaffari, the 29-year-old leader of the Afghan branch of ISIS, has reportedly transformed the group and made it capable of conducting operations far from its bases in Afghanistan, and ISIS has continued to launch terror attacks around the world. On Wednesday, ISIS claimed responsibility for an attack on a military base in Somalia that it says killed more than 20 military personnel. In a statement, ISIS said the attack was conducted by 12 militants and 2 booby-trapped vehicles. The group had also carried out a terror attack on a Russian concert hall in March 2024, killing at least 143 people, and was behind 2 explosions that killed nearly 100 people in the Iranian city of Kerman in January. Even lone wolves are reportedly inspired by the group. In August last year, a 19-year-old Austrian suspected of masterminding a planned attack on a Taylor Swift concert in Vienna had claimed allegiance to the ISIS. Recently, the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and the Pentagon warned that ISIS will try to re-establish its presence in Syria following the ouster of the Syrian President Bashar al-Assad last month. In fact, as speculation only grows within America of new Islamist revenge attacks terrorizing them, the ISIS role in these attacks, the scale of most such attacks, questions that may be answered in the coming days or weeks.